It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. Thank you so much for joining us as we are live with a miracle story that we touched on earlier today. Imagine being left alone to swim for 100 kilometers and 28.5 hours. The reason why that last half an hour is so important is because earlier speaking to shark attack and Indonesian water survivor, we realized that in that last half an hour, he almost wanted to take his life because he realized that this is just too hard. Brett Archibald, it's great having you on the show. Alone, The Search for Brett Archibald is your book that you brought out. I want to touch on your story again. So there you are in the middle of a tropical storm. The people on the boat didn't even realize that you fell off this boat. You're in the water. What is going through your head when you see a survival boat, a rescue boat coming closer?
You know, when the Australian boat came to rescue me, it was called the Barrenjoey, and it was a yacht. And I first saw the cross, the top of the mast. And I remember looking at it, and to me it was a hallucination. And it was the cross. I'd had so many attempts, and I actually looked skywards, and I said, God, shove that. You know, I thought it was a hallucination. And then it got closer, and I realized it was a boat. And I actually didn't get excited because my boat had come back, an Indonesian fishing boat had come back and sailed away, and third time I didn't know if it was going to be lucky or unlucky, but they kept coming, and then they turned slightly away, and I went, no, but it was just the skill of the skipper, because by turning away and the current taking me, if he'd stayed on that course, well, the current would have taken me. By the time they got to where I was, they would have missed me. So
what happens when they see you in the water? Do they pull you out? Do they go, hey, mate,
no, they
here's
dived
water?
in. They dived in.
Crazy.
They said I came out the water and I was screaming and waving. I couldn't talk, but I said, what did you hear? And they said to me they thought there was a wounded buffalo in the ocean. They just heard this terrible noise, and then I saw them, and I expended so much energy waving and shouting and saying, guys, here I am, and I had no more left, and I was actually sinking down, and I thought, how ironic. I'm finally getting rescued, and I don't have the energy to wait. They threw a life raft to me. I couldn't swim to it. And I was just sinking down, and I was saying goodbye, all my goodbyes again. And then this arm came around me and lifted me up and said, we've got you, mate, we've got you.
Here you are rescued, and I can imagine, earlier we spoke about it, it was probably a lot harder for the people who were left on the boats than you being in the water. What was their reaction when they realized that you weren't there? I mean, talking to them afterwards, what happened on the boat while you were in the water?
Well, I mean, they only realized 8 hours later or 6 hours later when they got to the other side, and they woke up and they were going like, where's Brett? And they realized that I wasn't on board. And I fundamentally believe that the time for them was worse for, I mean, I knew I was in the water and this was my task. They didn't know whether they searching for a dead body. There was contemplation, had I committed suicide? My business was in terrible trouble at the time. And some of them, and my beautiful little daughter had written me a note every night. And the note I read that night said, she didn't write her name, said, you are my hero, I will follow in your footsteps till the day I die. So when they were looking for my insurance papers, they picked up this note. It wasn't the writing of a 9-year-old, so I gave them a clap afterwards, like, what are you talking about, you know?
I can imagine, because it's really crazy. Here we are in 2013, and I remember when it happened, when we were all praying for your life, realizing, okay, Brett might not be coming back, we don't know what the situation is. Now you are rescued, you brought out this amazing book. What is in the story? What are the themes in the story? Why should anyone looking for survival in life pick up this book and read it?
Ilana, this book was written by an amazing lady who her and I worked on a whole situation where she interviewed me, she interviewed this crazy Australian, the 5 guys on the boat, the Aussie boat, our guys here, and then what happened in Camps Bay at my home. And the way the story's woven, I think everybody's shared their innermost fears. And what I found so incredible, meeting people on the airplane, so many people, their biggest fear is drowning or being left alone in the sea. There is no, I mean, that's why I don't think I've ever been so alone. So I wouldn't be able to say that this is a book that will, if you pick it up and read it, there's 10 points in it that say, if I apply this to my life, it'll change my life. It's not that. It just shares the basic common, and I think I'm just blessed that I'm here, you know, and we all follow and worry about the wrong things in my view, you know, that friends, family, and faith. I call it my 3 Fs. It's in the book.
Well, there you have it, friends, family, and faith. That's all that matters on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning. Brett, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your story. And hi to your two kids. They're a boy and a girl. Hey, do you want to say hi to them this morning?
Hi, my babies, Zara and Jamie. Love you guys. And my beautiful wife, Anita.
Oh, Anita. Well, we love you too, whatever it is. Man, this is a great show. This is your Feel Good Breakfast show, Expresso. Brett Archibald and that book. But it's time for the news.